Okay, so here we have a slightly more complicated proof. Our goal is to show that angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. And we're given that segment HJ is parallel to segment FG. Angle 5 is congruent to angle 6. And segment DE is parallel to segment FG. And it says we're not allowed to use the transitive property for parallel lines. That is, we're not allowed to say these two are parallel, therefore these two are parallel. That's not allowed. I don't think that would really help us in this problem, but it's good to know that we can't even consider that. So we know a lot about angles being congruent, right? Because of what we know about parallel lines, these two have to be congruent, and these two have to be congruent. So I think my strategy is going to be to say angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. We know that angle 5 is congruent to angle 6. Those together will give me angle 1 congruent to angle 6. Right, that's the transitive property of congruence. Then I can say angle 6 is congruent to angle 7, and I can put those together to get angle 1 is congruent to angle 7, which is where I'm going with this. Okay, so that's my plan. I just need to justify those steps. How can I know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5? Right, they certainly look congruent in the picture. Oh, it's because we have these parallel segments, right? If we think of this segment as a transversal, and these two segments as parts of parallel lines, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Okay, so I'm going to justify this by saying that these are corresponding angles. And before that, I need to say that the two relevant segments are parallel. HJ is parallel to FG. How do we know that? That was given to us. So HJ is parallel to FG, and then angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. I'm just typing that in because if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. Notice this line's used. I need to be able to say that line 1 told me that the lines are parallel. Validate that line. Alright, that line worked. Next I want to say that angle 5 is congruent to angle 6. That was a given. I'm just going to send that to the proof. Okay. And based on that, I decided to conclude that angle 1 is congruent to angle 6. And why is that? I think that's the transitive property, putting together lines 2 and 3. Let's make sure that's actually formatted for the transitive property. A is congruent to B is congruent to C, therefore A is congruent to C. Yes, that works. Alex is a little bit fussy about the transitive property. Okay. Now I just need to get angle 6 congruent to angle 7. Again, those look congruent, and I think what's going on is that other pair of parallel segments. right? DE and FG are parallel. Relative to this transversal, those are alternate interior angles. So I need to say that DE and FG are parallel. And then angle 6 is congruent to angle 7, because if lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are congruent. Here it is, alternate interior angles. And line 5 was where we said the lines were parallel. Oh, whoops. It says it doesn't understand what I typed in, and the reason for that is I was missing an angle symbol. Okay, much better. And I think we're there now. We can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Using the transitive property again. 1 to 6, that was line 4. 6 to 7, that was line 6. And now it says, thank you, your proof is complete. We click check, and our answer is correct. Now, how did we figure out what to do here? We started by marking up the picture. That gave us an idea of what was given and what we were trying to figure out. Then we gave just kind of an outline of statements that would get us where we wanted to go. And finally, we filled in the outline, adding extra statements as we needed them and adding justifications. And that's going to be our process for almost all of our proofs. Right? There are different kinds of proofs. Some of them involve congruent triangles. Some of them involve all sorts of things. For almost all of our proofs, marking up the diagram, giving an outline of our statements, and then filling in our missing statements and justifications will get us where we want to go. There is one special kind of proof, the indirect proof, or proof by contradiction, that works a little bit differently. And we'll see one of those in the next video.